at 30-something below zero. Living in an RV. What could possibly go wrong? The world is getting pummeled by a blizzard. Like it's the Ice Age all over again. Despite the casual 180 miles per hour windstorm, our guy inside is suspiciously calm. This is Jess, a seasoned pro with 2.5 years of experience. He's heading for the boonies. After a gnarly mountain road, he finds a whole lot of nothing. Sure, everything is a sheet of ice, making the road a giant slip and slide. But for him, our thrill seeker, this is paradise. As he drives deeper into the void, Jess starts to get a little creeped out. The view goes on forever, like some kind of spooky cloud kingdom. He's just praying the RV doesn't die on him. Another 2.5 hours later, he finally finds a parking spot. Jess can finally unclench. Pops out to check the new digs. Surprise, he's on a mountaintop. The wind immediately assaults him, flash freezing everything in sight. After a whole 2 minutes outside, Jess was a human popsicle. To avoid becoming a permanent ice sculpture, he desperately needed the RV's heater. He leaped back inside, dreaming of warmth, only to find the heater was on strike. So, back out into the Arctic he went. The culprit, the vent. The wind was blowing right up its business. Turns out, heaters hate that. So, he had to play musical parking spots. A nearby building became his new wind blocker. Round 2 with the heater switch. Success. We have liftoff. The RV was no longer an igloo. Jess was unreasonably excited about this. Now, for some modern survival gear. Gotta upload the content, after all. And, in case of emergency, or the need to order a pizza. He set up his magical internet dish. With civilization reestablished, Jess dove back inside. Priority 1, life-giving coffee. The mission was simple. Get warm, stay warm, caffeinate. Man cannot live on coffee alone. He also summoned the ancient power of instant ramen. A 5-star meal, it was not. It was hot, so who cared? Time for some internal heating. Too bad he doesn't drink jet fuel. One tiny sip of that, and he'd be sweating lava. Belly full, he looks up. Oh, great. The windshield is now a solid block of ice. To make sure the RV isn't also a giant ice cube, he must venture outside again. Into the frozen wasteland. Okay, tires and vents are fine. Jace's face, however, is now a tomato. To avoid becoming a human popsicle, he dives back inside. So, the conditions are actively trying to kill him. But Jace, he thinks this is thrilling. What a weirdo. As Piltover descends into darkness, it's dinner time. And since he's camping in a freezer, the meal must be special. Behold, the I'm not gonna die tonight burger. Patties hit the pan. Sizzle, sizzle. Slap on the cheese. Toast the bread. And add some jam. You do you, buddy. Assemble the masterpiece. And, voila, a juicy burger of survival. Now to enjoy this feast. All by himself. Belly full. Jace waddled outside to check on his giant metal popsicle. Windshield was a solid block of ice. So yeah, it was a tad chilly. Like water, freezes instantly chilly. Fortunately, the door still opened. Phew. Becoming a permanent RV ornament wasn't on his to-do list. The blizzard was still throwing a tantrum. So Jace's bravery lasted about 5 seconds. He noped right back inside. He peeled off his giant puffy coat and hung it up. Then he gave it a personal spa day with a tiny blow-dryer fan. With that chore done, he zipped himself into a human cocoon for his first night in the frozen tundra. The next morning, Jace successfully woke up, thanks to the heater running all night. He hadn't turned into a peep. First order of business: brew the life-giving elixir, also known as coffee. Caffeinated and clothed, he went out for round 2 versus the cold. The second his boot hit the snow, his jaw hit the floor. The RV was a giant, frosty paperweight, looking like a relic from the last ice age. So much ice. To avoid becoming permanent residents, Jace went to scout the terrain. His professional assessment were doomed. The ground was now an impromptu skating rink. A very, very big one. Grimly aware of the situation, Jess headed for the driver's cabin to attempt waking the beast. But after a night in the deep freeze, the door refused to cooperate. Time for Plan B, the awkward internal squeeze. After some light contortionism into the driver's seat, he pleaded with the ignition. Thankfully, they had a secret weapon, an engine booster. With a mighty whir, the engine coughed itself back to life. While the engine was warming its chilly circuits, Jess began his epic battle against the ice, armed only with a shovel. As the engine's heat spread, the RV's ice armor began to weaken. This made the dicing process slightly less impossible. With the windshield finally free, they could see freedom, and so, this icy camping trip came to a perfect end. Bon voyage, dude. Meet Shao Ka, a man allergic to mortgages. His noble steed, a van. Destination, a random jungle clearing. A long drive has made him sleepy. So yeah, this spot will do. Conveniently located by a roaring river. It's basically a giant, free sound machine for napping. But uh-oh, the sky looks grumpy. Time to retreat into the van. First, peel off the damp jacket. Next, acquire firewood. And with masterful skill, make fire. Cause, you know, winter. And the air outside is trying to kill him. So the stove is not optional. Gotta heat up this metal box. With a tiny inferno raging, Shao Ka ventures out for water. He scoops up some rustic river water. The kettle goes on the stove. And now, we wait. While the microbes scream in agony. He turns on the mood lighting, just to make things a little cozier. He and his van have been through a lot. It's his best, and possibly only friend. Once the water is probably safe, he makes himself a fancy leaf to distress. The sun peaced out, and the sky started throwing ice cubes. BAM, instant winter. Luckily, he brought a ton of firewood, so he didn't freeze. Time for a smug sip of tea. As the sky got angrier, Shauka grabbed an umbrella for a brilliant idea: to get pelted by nature's fury. Surveying his new ice kingdom, he finally felt like a real, rugged camper. Obviously, it was time to crack open the good wine. Time to get tipsy and enjoy the cozy solitude. After demolishing the snacks, it was already 8:30 p.m. Time to cook dinner. Some flour went into a bowl. Then, some milk. Crack in an egg. Mix it all up. And pour the goo into a pan. Cook until both sides are golden. Boom, pancake achieved. But what's a pancake without a friend? Enter the premium sirloin steak. A quick fry to medium rare will do. Splash on some red wine, because why not? Then crank the heat to make a sauce. As the steak gets drunk on wine fumes, he preps the side characters, tomato and cheese. With all the parts ready, it's assembly time. And poof. A simple, sort of fancy meal appears. Now, he enjoys this glorious meal for one. After dinner, it's sleepy time tea to get toasty for bed. Apparently, we're all supposed to be jealous. He draws the curtains for total privacy. Human burrito mode activated. The next morning, his laziness in fire tending last night led to a rude, popsicle-like awakening. So, first order of business: make fire and dice the van. Meanwhile, the sky is dumping snow everywhere, covering the world in a blanket of don't go outside. To generate survival energy, Shauka begins Operation Breakfast. He mashes oats and eggs, plus one very unfortunate banana. A splash of milk to make it less solid. Into the pan the concoction goes. And now we wait for pancake magic. He slapped on some jam and bananas. And poof, dessert for breakfast. Time to eat. And stare pensively at the snow. Life was good, but it was missing one thing: steaming hot, instant noodles, the key to true happiness. belly full, Shaukar decided to brave the cold. He stood in the snow, getting face-punched by nature. Okay, that's enough nature. Back inside, he fired up the engine. This delightful camping trip was over. Time for the next episode. Meanwhile, in Chile, Alaska, a pickup camper was really struggling. The weather was being a jerk. So he decided, I live here now. Meet 30-year-old Hon Wong. He's in year 3 of this whole RV thing. Did the terrible weather stop him? Nope. He just dropped his fancy wooden stairs and started shoveling again. With the door finally clear of snow, Hon Wong retreated into the warmth and put on his comfiest clogs. The glamorous RV life. And so, the suffering begins. To avoid becoming a human popsicle, he grabbed some firewood and fired up the OL heat box. This thing's no match for central heating. Hey, it gets the job done-ish. While waiting for the stove to do its thing, he boiled some water. He needed coffee. Because napping now meant freezing later. To kill time, he busted out the ukulele. A feeble attempt at joy in this godforsaken ice cube of a place. The fire was a hungry, hungry hippo. His woodpile was disappearing fast. To avoid a chilly demise, he had to venture back into the Arctic abyss for more wood. With an armload of future warmth, he scurried back inside and fed the beast. Outside, the wind was getting personal. Luckily, he'd shopped like a doomsday so he could enjoy camping without actually starving. Time crawled by, and suddenly, it was lunchtime. Time for Tang Wang's lunch-making ceremony. The vegetables meet their doom. To the fiery pan they go. A man cannot survive on plants alone. Enter the ground pork. He sizzles the sadness out of it. Now, for the grand unification. Ah, sweet, sweet energy. Fully fueled, he enters a food coma with a movie. In this frozen wasteland, that's 5-star living. The briefest of naps concludes. He summons the baking tray. On go, the bougie cheese and nutcrackers. To the tiny sun they go. 10 minutes till glory. A wild, delicious snack will soon appear. Muffled, cracker-fueled philosophy. And poof, the sun is gone. Suddenly, it's stupidly cold. Good thing his house has wheels and a heater. Time for some sofa bed origami. Out come the fluffy clouds of comfort. Horizontal mode initiated. Ah, sweet oblivion. And we time travel to morning. Shout out to the furnace, the real MVP. It kept the box at a balmy 71 degrees. He slept like a well-toasted log. First order of business, make the bed. What a psycho. Wait, his name is Han Wong now. Anyway, he goes outside, warming up the metal box. Time to battle the fluffy white menace. Mission accomplished. Retreating to the warmth. Time to boil some H2O. Yeah. For a cup of cold coffee, don't ask. Fully. Han Wong retracts the welcome stairs. And that's a wrap on this frosty vac. On to the next adventure. Meanwhile, in chilly Finland, Lexi and co. are hunting for a place to park their house. As it suddenly got really cold. Roads are now just suggestions under the snow. After driving at a snail's pace, they find a clearing with an actual view. It's got trees in the back, which apparently means great campsite. Lexi slams it in park. Out comes the all-trusty folding ladder. Kaplunk, right by the door. And the sky is officially dumping on them. His wife and daughter wisely retreat inside. Lacey deploys the pop-out patio. He unhooks some doohickey inside. Just gotta lift this thing up. Jam some poles in the corners. And wrap it all in fancy plastic. Boom. You get more living space. And a 360 view of the beautiful blizzard. With that handled, Lacey cranked the furnace. Time to dice this tin can. Meanwhile, it was all hands on deck. The ladies assembled furniture, while Lacey scaled the roof to open the chimney and rescue the solar panels from their snowy grave. Can't let that stuff turn into an ice rink. Once the outside was conquered, Lacey grabbed some coal. Add firewood, and presto, a fireplace. Smarter than your average energy bill. Meanwhile, the wife was on Operation Make Bed. Behold, fluffy wool blankets. They're about to sleep like hibernating bears. After all that work, night began to fall. Outside, the snowstorm was still throwing a tantrum. But inside, the lights flickered on. The RV was now officially a cozy fortress. Admit it, you're jealous. Watching from your boring old couch. With the mood set, it was time to make dinner. Tonight's special, pork, ribs, and soybeans. Because a meal without carbs is just sad. He even cooked rice, fancy. 30 minutes later. Boom, dinner's ready. The family circles the table. And the blissful sound of chewing commences. Stuffed, Lexi grabs a lantern to brave the wild. His mission, to measure the snow and kick the tires on their mobile home. Having confirmed the RV is still there, he feeds the fire beast a bedtime snack. And then they collapse into bed. Poof, it's morning. Surprise, everything is now aggressively white. The RV grew a majestic ice beard. It's basically Narnia now. Which is a nice way of saying it's dead quiet. They rise and attempt to get clean. Breakfast materializes thanks to the wife. The trio huddles by the window, gawking at the frozen wasteland, while inhaling. Breakfast over, Lexi awakens the beast, hoping the engine agrees. Meanwhile, he wrangles the back porch into submission. And with that, the family hits the icy road again.